that's our maximum healing potential with the help of thundershrooms. So today's episode, I am very excited to share with you basically something that's very close to me personally, and that is the results of my 6.5 day advanced water fast, which I just completed 2 days ago. And that involved no food for 6.5 days. And I did this for a number of reasons, and which I'd like to go through today. I'd like to also share what I hope to accomplish by doing it, what I actually accomplished by doing it, and what you might also want to consider when you choose to embark on such a similar fast, whether it's a shorter 24, 36, or 48-hour fast, or something much longer than 6.5 days, and how you might go about starting, and most importantly, how you would include thundershrooms as part of your reset, as part of your rejuvenation that you're going to achieve from doing something such as the prolonged water fast. So first, I want to start with really what would be the reasons for doing an advanced water fast. Now, many of you may have completed the coursework or some of the free content that Doctorate Detox has put out about the water fast, the benefits, the reasons for doing it. And really there's, in my personal opinion, there's really two grades of a water fast that we want to look at. And it really determines the grade or the severity or the commitment of the water fast is really what we're hoping to achieve. For general health and rejuvenation for people without serious, whether it's disease issues or metabolic weight issues, for people in quite good health who don't need to do severe change, then the Perfect Day Advanced Water Fast Guide in the Doc of Detox library is a fantastic, encompassing guide. It includes important supplementation as well as other lifestyle advice for the time that you're doing the water fast. Now, if you want to do something a bit more severe, which is what I was hoping to accomplish, and for me, it was really more about weight loss, as I just had been on a week-long trip for a wedding, and I was in a land where the night markets are full of delicious food, tasty, oily, sugary foods, and I really indulged. And so when I came back, I was obviously bloated. And when I stepped on the scales, I saw a number that really scared me into action. So I knew that that was a point where I needed to do something a bit more serious than maybe a 2-day fast or maybe the full fast with some nutrients. And I really wanted to do a full clean reset for at least 5 days. So I decided to do it almost immediately, within 48, about 36 hours from checking my weight on the scale and really just feeling not well, feeling bloated, obviously. And that's really, just say that before we go on the scales, our body does talk to us. And I mean, I cannot say that my body wasn't talking to me when I was eating all these delicious snacks. It's more like I wasn't listening. So that happens as well. And we don't always need to step on a scale to have the message from our body that, hey, we need to slow down the input. So for me, within about 36 hours of the decision, I started my fast. And before that, this is a very important part, which I want to go into a bit more detail also about how we use the thundershrooms after the fast. But before I embarked on the fast, for 36 hours, I loaded up on my thundershrooms, Vital Life, and Critical Care. And the reason I did that is because I know that inside the thundershrooms, there's a naturally occurring compound which promotes the regrowth of stem cells, which become healthy immune cells and blood cells, healthy blood cells and healthy immune cells. So these stem cells, which we get from the thundershrooms, I wanted to put as many of them into my body as I could from the thundershrooms. And we're not talking about the actual cells, but we're talking about the message which tells our body to make these stem cells, which become healthy immune cells. And so I wanted to load up my body with that message as much as possible, so that when my body was doing its cleaning and self-cleaning, it would have the message to regenerate as many new healthy immune cells, which we got from the message coming from the thundershrooms. So I didn't consume thundershrooms during the fast, the 6-day fast, because I'll go into that in a little while, just a short while. But before is the most important time for basically instructing the immune system, which is going to have a lot more free time when it's not worrying about the food that has to be processed as we put it into our body. So the immune system will basically be a much more attentive listener, and it will be able to absorb the message from the mushroom, the thundershrooms, the compound inside the thundershrooms, which tells it, hey, let's make some more healthy immune cells, and which we can use later in our immune system to make the immune system stronger, more active, and more reactive, and more balanced. So by using the thundershrooms before the fast, we really get this instruction nice and prepared. Then we go into the actual fast. Now, during this time, I of course, really love to do my own research, and I chose to not consume any form of macronutrient, and that includes any form of fat, which would eliminate even the fatty acids, which we see in the more moderate water fasting guide. For a more severe one, I wanted to remove the fat during those few days, and I also wanted to remove any proteins in the form of amino acids in those few days, simply because when the body is deprived of any new inputs that can be converted into sugar or in the form of glucose, which is then used to generate ATP, right, fuel for the cells. So when the body's devoid, doesn't have any new inputs for 24, 36, 72 hours, then the body's forced to use other energy sources. And what we'll use is your stored glycogen, which is stored sugar, and your stored fat. And so I wanted to remove any new form of fat, even in the smallest dose, or any new form of protein, even in the form of amino acid, which becomes the protein, just for those few days. Because when the body, and again, I'm going for the more severe version of the water fast, and that is when the body is devoid completely of any new sources of energy, such as sugars or fats, then it will burn up everything inside. It will burn up some muscle, that's true, and we can come to that in just a second, but it will burn up diseases, it will burn up scar tissue, it will burn up inflammation. It would even work well with getting wolf non-surgical for an old injury, so that the body, by starving the inflammation, the body will consume the inflammation as a source of energy. It's a source of extreme reserve, last-ditch energy. The body will burn up everything. And there's many studies that document how even extreme prolonged fasting has been used to remove or greatly help the removal of long-term chronic or autoimmune or cancerous diseases. And basically, by starving the body, we take out all these things. So that's why I didn't add any sources of fuel, so that I could really try and get my body to eat everything. Now, I said at the beginning, sorry, part of the fasting is it makes you not only very thirsty, but it's important to drink a lot of water. So at the beginning, I said I was doing this for really two purposes. I was doing this for not only for weight loss, but also for detox. So by removing all macronutrients, I was achieving both in even greater degree, which is that for fat loss, by having no new inputs, my body would be consuming the old fat. Well, first it would be consuming the old sugar, which is stored in the form of glycogen in our liver, which is the visceral fat around our organs. And then it would consume stored fat in the form of adipose tissue, which is generally stored in, the turkey arm area, the wobble, or here. And also in my case, I had these little lovely pockets on my lower back, which I really they're not so lovely. But that's really because your body's very clever and adept at storing little bits of fat, which is reserve energy, in the places where it takes the least effort to carry it. So under your arm, you're already moving your arm. So to store a bit of fat under the arm is you don't really notice it. It's also why we can so easily add a 5-10 cupcake weight, if you will call it, or dessert weight or holiday weight, without really feeling it around our pants yet, because it stores in under our arm or under our neck, or depends on your genetics for that, where it stores. So in my case, my goal was for weight loss to use a severe, like long enough and deep enough level of fasting so that my body would be using old stored sugar and then old stored fat. Now for the detox side, by doing such a sustained fast, deep level of fast, it would also be removing all sources of inflammation and stuck gunk in different parts of my body that would eventually be moved and burned up as reserve energy. And so for the detox side, doing a more severe fast has a higher effect as far as removing toxins from the body so that they're used up as fuel. And the key to all this is that we have to tell our body we need more fuel. And what that means is we have to do exercise. Now, we're not accustomed to exercising, most of us, without food. So that can really be quite risky or quite dangerous. But our body doesn't need to do anything any more severe than simply walking. Walking 30 to 40 minutes, it just tells the body, hey, you know what? We're moving. We need to use some energy. And therefore, let's tap in to whatever we have inside the body already. We've got some more sugar and glycogen, we've got some more fat around the belly, around the neck. We're out of all that. Then if you did a very severe fast, you would get to the stuff in between and all the gunk. So for my purposes, the research is that you start to with combined with moderate exercise every day, which is for me was about 20,000 steps, just push-ups and squats and body weight workout, very light, but using most of my muscle groups such as body weight squats, body weight lunges, sit-ups, push-ups. Really nothing too fancy. Pull-ups. I have a pull-up bar at home. This type of stuff plus walking basically told my body just the most important thing was to do enough strain or enough exercise to tell the body, hey, we need energy. Nothing's coming in. Nothing's coming for 2 or 3 days. What have you got? Let's look around. Let's burn it all up. So that's the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is not to break into a deep sweat and be huffing and puffing, because then you're actually going to trigger this new level of hunger, which is like a really survival deep level of hunger, which we don't want to go into. So something like, power body lifting when fasted is really not recommended for many reasons. First of all, because it's definitely going to make you more hungry. On that note, when we remove the food, especially mainly when we remove the glucose, and let's just talk a second about what happens when we remove the sugar from our diet. We remove the sugar from our diet, our body is basically forced to switch over to using fat as an energy source. We know this is called ketosis, or using ketones as the energy source. And what basically when we do that, we retune the body to not expect sugar. And when we do that, cravings drop. And the reason for that is because there's a specific enzyme which is responsible for that strong pang of hunger. And that is created as a byproduct of insulin, which is the hormone that's released to digest sugar. So when we remove the sugar, we remove the hunger. It's the enzyme that is coming from insulin to break down the sugar that makes us hungry. So even though a 6-day fast might sound, wow, that's really difficult, I honestly thought there's no way I can do more than 3 or 4 days. I've done 5 days once a long time ago. It was torture. I was young. I was much younger, in my mid-20s. I wasn't so motivated, and it was just so difficult. I was thinking about food the whole time, like just outrageous combinations of sort of like Willy Wonka factory style, like chocolate on waterfall, like really outrageous stuff. But this time, maybe because I was so busy with my work and school and everything outside, I really did not have the hunger pangs, anything at all. And within 2 days of no sugar, they were gone. Those cravings, I didn't wake up thinking about food in any way. And in fact, the way I felt as far as hunger was as I came to the end, I decided to end it on the 6th day because I could tell my temper was getting a bit short with people. I was getting a bit impatient, and my overall mood was kind of dipping a little bit. And I wanted to sort of attend social events and things. So I ended it slowly on the 6th day, and we'll come into the refeeding in just a second. Um, and so it really was the point where I felt a good time to taper off, and I'd achieved really a very deep burn of body tissue, body fat. And also, sorry, one side effect of the muscle is that when we use the exercises, we tell the body to build the muscle. So as we're burning off everything inside the body, let's not burn off what we've just built. So it's important to do something very light like body weight squats, because it tells your body, as we're detoxing and as we're burning up anything else we have in the body, please don't use the muscle because I've just built that with the exercise. So essentially, at the end of the 6.5 days, I weighed in and I'd lost in pounds around 14 pounds. And in kilos, that is 12 pounds, 5.5 kilos. 5.5 kilos, 12 pounds. And most of the water is actually, most of the weight is actually water weight, which brings me back to when I said special note about sugar, is that 1 gram of stored sugar requires 3 grams of water to surround it as a storage buffer. So basically, when we eat an excess of sugar, more than what our body needs for fuel at that time, it will store the sugar, but it stores the sugar almost like in a bubble wrap of 3 grams of water. So every excess sugar we have in our body is tripled. I mean, is the size is tripled than the actual size of the sugar from the water. So for the weight I lost, is mainly water weight from the sugar leaving my body, and a bit of fat, maybe like 30% of that was fat from my before and after measurements. And when we come back off the fast, it's important that we only consume half the calories as we normally would, and we've removed sugar as the source of fuel for the body, so we can continue on very low carbohydrate, low glycemic foods, such as really big portions of green leafy vegetables, which, although are classified as carbohydrates, they're non-digestible fiber. So we can really eat as much of that as we want without triggering the body's need or craving for glucose. So we can do that. We can also do, obviously, any sugar-free source of protein, source of fat. So really, once our body's off sugar, which we achieve during the fast, whether it's 3 days, 4 days, 5, 6, 21, we want to resume the body on non-sugar as fuel. And really, we've retuned it, expecting a lower amount of glucose, and to use a mixed source of fat and slow burning, such as sugar from high fiber sources of carbohydrates, such as green leafy vegetables or brown rice. So when we come off the refeeding, it will generally be around 30% of however long the fast was. So for my case, 6.5 days, I did 3 days of slowly refeeding. I'm going to do another full day fast tomorrow and continue with probably 1 day a week for the next month, just to continue my progress. I felt like I've got such great momentum from this, and I want to keep that going. So after the fast, also, I've resumed my thundershroomz. Now, because my body is clean, it's a better listener. It's more receptive. I can take a single dose now and have the same effect as a double dose during the time I was consuming food and when the thundershroomz was competing for attention from my body. So right now that I've just finished, and my body is very sensitive, it's very attuned to anything coming in. I want to be careful on what I put in as far as food. And with my thundershroomz, only a single dose of both, I always take both together, will be very effective, more effective than before, when my body's all gunked up. So we take the thundershroomz before in double dose to prepare and get the message for the body to regenerate healthy new blood cells and immune cells during the fast and after the fast. And after the fast, we resume with just a single dose because we've already cleaned the body, so it's more receptive. And basically, if you have personal questions, as far as you have a condition you want to think about, would it help? Is there a specific protocol for before or after, then definitely please email me at thundershroomz.detox@gmail.com, because, for example, such as eczema or some type of psoriasis or even lupus, these types of autoimmune diseases, we would definitely want to tailor a specific before and after thundershrooms protocol, and maybe talk about what would be appropriate for the duration. I'm sure the whole life practitioner consultants can help you as well to determine what's the right length of fast. And also, of course, whatever is your state of health, that would really guide how much you want to do, how severely you want to do it. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the most important supplement I had during the fast, which was Ormus minerals. And I took a mineral salt. And all the effects that people associate with fasting, such as dizziness, lack of energy, lethargy, loss of mood, that's really due to imbalance of the electrolyte triangle in our body between sodium, magnesium, and potassium. And that really controls, it's a critical for human life balance that we have between these three minerals. And when we fast, we don't take it in from food, our body reacts to that. And that reaction is what causes the common symptoms that we associate with fatigue or grogginess, so it's very easily prevented or treated with drinking a lot of mineral salt water and the Ormus minerals in water. And I also consumed daily the black gold, which has no macronutrient content, and I also consumed the, excuse me, no, I think it was just the black gold and the Ormus, yes, just the black gold, the Ormus, oh, and Fiber Clear, that's it. To promote gut health and regeneration of a healty gut, I did follow the protocol of five times throughout the day on the Fiber Clear. And that's it for me. I want to keep it very simple and really focus on something other than food, and really kept myself very busy, and it really passed very quickly. So again, if you want to reach out to me personally, I can help you guide through the process. We can always arrange for personal consultation and really a whole program if you're interested. And I can also guide if you have a specific concern about what you want to do before or after the fast. So I wish you all to think about your health, what you want to do, if there's something you want to do more, what you can do, because really every day we're here, we have an opportunity to do something. So for me, it was a bit drastic, and it's a good kickstart for me to move on. And I hope that some of you might think about maybe not doing the fast yourself, but at least something else you might do that gets you closer towards a better state of health, and really, as I said in the beginning, realizing your maximum healing potential, because we really have unlimited healing potential, and we can achieve it with the right tools, the right approach, and the right support from each other. So do reach out. I'm here to answer questions and help you to your maximum. So I will see you again next week, and always a pleasure speaking with you. Bye for now.